Welcome back, A.S.M.R. More topics to come. Message. Has New Age been stolen from above? But what it was used for in the beginning was not for the human selfish way to attain everything and all things that congratulated the human race to collect up all its gold and royalties and riches for its own selfish demeanors and ways. Fire, nice. And to do other selfish things with it, it doesn't always have to do with money. A lot of the New Age I tend to wonder about, and I'm trying to get others to question that are involved in the same thing, that it's used for the wrong purposes, even in the law of attraction and other messages that have been presented to humanity and sold to us for the wrong reasons. And you would have to ask yourself why and why. Well, why I have to ask is, all these things are acceptable, except why is the Bible the only book in the world to be turned down and put out as a failure to humanity, but yet we have all these other things that help us to gain riches and fortunes and try to sell us things to promise us better lives, to glorify our own fleshes rather than a kingdom that would live in another realm, or perhaps even above our own. Why is it that we as a species, as a human race, cannot go past our own selves, but see our own selves as royalty and royalty in itself, and we can't even get into another person's footsteps or shoes to care enough for that person? Are we not a selfish race, or are we? These questions are very simple questions. There's nothing hard to ask about these. Too many of us are just caught up in our own ways that we forget what is the true purpose of life in itself, and with people and caring for one another rather than sticking to our own ways. And the things are, there is nothing wrong with learning new knowledges and wisdom, but why Why? And why? I have to keep asking myself why. Was New Age and all of its books and everything just given to us because we're glorifying the wrong kingdom here? There's an earth kingdom, but there is a kingdom that would live elsewhere, perhaps even above us, that we are actually supposed to be going after rather than failing or not pursuing. But it's sad. I mean, I would see it as not everyone is going to receive this message, because this is a different type of message that is not even found in this place we live in called Earth, because so many fail to ask the questions, the whys, the hows, the what ifs. We don't question anymore as a society, as a race, because we are so programmed to just believe anything. And there is an old saying, and I keep replaying it over and over in my head, over and over and over. Fire and ice, fire and ice, fire and ice, fire, fire and ice. Have we forgotten who we are as a race, as a whole, as society? Have we forgotten our identity? Do we know our identity as people, as a race? As the scientific word calls us Homo sapiens, we are a selfish race. Animals in the animal kingdom are not so selfish like we are. They care for one another. They love one another. They represent one another. Even as a young one would lose its family and mother and everything else, another herd or a mother would take in that child as its own, no matter what it is. But yet we can't even love. We don't even love ourselves, so how can we love anybody else? Fire and ice, fire and ice, fire and ice. I believe there is going to come a time very soon, not too far off. Not too far off at all. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but not too far off. We're going to have to really look at ourselves in the mirror for who we truly were and who we truly are as a human race and society. Who are we? Why are we? Why were we really supposed to be living? What is the meaning of life? Just simple questions that take me back. Show me something. Reveal something to me. Reveal a revelation to come. Something to show itself that can be bought, that no matter how much money you give to me, no matter how much money is presented, you can't buy it. It is not worth any kind of gold or money. Goes back to the human soul. It's even going back to the New Age where I was talking about in the beginning. Has it been stolen? And have we believed the lie that you can gain everything, just give the soul over for a damn contract? Fire and ice. Fire and ice. Fire and ice. That we could get everything in this world has to give us and offer us. But yet, we believe the lie that you can sell your soul, which fire and ice. You really can't. You are just under a different ownership of control than yourself. Than yourself. Than yourself. You are under a different control that is not of your own, but is more spiritual than anything. Do not perceive yourself differently than people, but receive the message of wisdom rather than the message of knowledge. There is nothing wrong with growing and gaining knowledge. But isn't wisdom so much more better than knowledge? Because you would already know what to do rather than taking what is wrong just because it benefited you for a temporary purpose and reason and temporary time period. Only for a little while, but wisdom carries through ages. Wisdom even carries you through into another life, and even in that life it carries you through. So why not have wisdom rather than the knowledge only for a temporary time? Why not? Why not? Why not? Fire and ice. Why not take wisdom that's going to carry you through not even just this physical time period, but into the next period, or into another realm, into your afterlife. Some say the afterlife is forever. Well, I can't disagree, because there was a time, fire and ice. I died. My soul left my body. I felt like I was floating. And time did not exist anymore. Time itself was not there. It's almost like it had never existed in that time period, or I'll go ahead and say it never did. Wisdom, you want wisdom to carry you through that time as well, because as this world continues to shatter, which I want to be optimistic, but I just feel it's going to keep getting worse and worse. Fire and ice. That wisdom, you want wisdom because it will carry you through even to the next life. It's important to have wisdom over knowledge because it's more potent. The potency is more thicker than the knowledge. The knowledge thins and eventually does die. But with wisdom never dies. Fire and ice. Fire and ice. Fire and ice. Wisdom is so potent, you couldn't pierce it with anything. It's just too potent to dissolve, to thin, and to die. Fire and ice. Fire and ice. Fire and ice. You may be going through some things right now that you really cannot make sense of at all. You ask the question, why is this happening to me? Why me? Why me? What is going on here that I can't figure out. I can't make sense of. I can't grab hold of, because it seems like it's just so much bigger than myself. But if we pray, things will change. Things do change. And maybe it will not always be perfect of how we want to perceive and see it to be. Things will be resolved in your life for the greater good. And especially if you take on wisdom rather than so much knowledge. Then again, knowledge is not a bad thing, but wisdom is so much more potent, so much more thicker, and it does not dissolve so much easily than the knowledge, because it takes you through different lifetimes. It will take you through not only this lifetime, when this world is finally gone, this life is over with, it's going to take you in through the next realm as well. So take on the wisdom to come, and the wisdom you have, the wisdom you will have to take. The wisdom given will show you something greater. Fire and ice, fire and ice, fire and ice. Till next time.